Jai Sapadika Sri Sri Guru Gaurachandra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Sri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribrajaka Asta Terasita Sri Srimati Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribrajaka Asta Terasita Sri Srimati Srila Bhakti Rakha Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chita Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Haribo. Jai. Okay, yep. Jai continue to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is chapter number 5 of the Antya Lila. So the last 2 days we've been reading from the Madhya Lila, chapters 12 and 13, about the cleaning of the Gundicha temple, and then Sri Jagannath Rath Yatra.
It's a little bit loud. Can you turn it down just a tad? Thank you.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
All right. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And I'm going to go back a couple of verses just so that catch up where we are. So this is a verse number 81. To demonstrate the transcendental attributes of Ramananda Rai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Pradyumna Mishra to hear discourses from Krishna from him, about Krishna from him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knows very well how to demonstrate the qualities of his devotees. Therefore, acting like an artistic painter, he does so in various ways and considers this his personal profit. Okay. Ara eka svabhava gaurera shuna bhaktagana aishvarja svabhava guddha kare prakatana. That there is another characteristic of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. O devotees, listen carefully to how he maintains his opulence and characteristics, although they are exceptionally deep. Haridev Prabhu, do you mind turning that fan off? Or turning that cooler off for just for now? Sannyasi Pandita Ganera Karite Garbanash Niche Shudra Drava Karena Dharmera Prakash. To vanquish the false pride of so-called renunciants and learned scholars, he spreads real religious principles, even through a Shudra or low-born fourth-class man. To vanquish the false pride of so-called renunciants they're feeling some pride in being very highly situated. He spreads actual truth through the low-born persons. When a man is greatly learned in the Vedanta Sutras, he is known as a Pandit or a learned scholar. Generally, this qualification is attributed to Brahmins and sannyasis. But when such a person is offered the sannyas order, he comes to the highest position when a Brahmin is. So Mahaprabhu, though, wanted to show that real truth, the highest truth, is available to anyone and everyone. And actually, there cannot be any pride. In pure Krishna consciousness, all pride is vanquished. So, in the Bhagavatam it is said, Kiratas, Hunas, Andras, Pulindas, Pulkashas, Abiras, Shumbas, and Yavanas, and members of the Kasha races, and even others addicted to sinful acts, can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord. Due to his being the supreme power, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So this is a big statement for the Srimad Bhagavatam, because we have to remember that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the tree of the Veda. And Veda is generally concerned with religion and with the orders of society and the duties of each order of society, the gradual upliftment, and so many different things. But here it is saying, forget all that. Anyone who's sinful, like really outside of the Vedic culture, not allowed inside the walls of the Vedic cities, who lives in, like people like us, if they come into contact with a devotee of the Lord in the proper mood, they will be completely purified beyond and go beyond being a Brahmin or a renunciant. Though the sannyas order and the Brahminical order are the two highest positions of the Varnashram system. But they will go beyond that because of being touched by a pure devotee of the Lord. So this is a really, really revolutionary statement. But it is the conclusion given by Srila Vyasadeva himself. Bhakti prema tattva rahiraya karivakta apani pradyumna mishra sahahaya shrota. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached about devotional service, ecstatic love, and the absolute truth by making Ramananda Rai, a grihasta born in a low family, the speaker. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the exalted Brahmin sannyasi, and Pradyumna Mishra, the purified Brahmin, both became the hearers of Ramananda Rai. So Mahaprabhu is definitely in the highest, in terms of Vedic society, Mahaprabhu is in the highest position. He's not only born in a very high Brahmin family, but he's a sannyasi. And he's listening, he's hearing from Ramananda Rai. And Pradyumna Mishra, who was also a Brahmin, he joined in and was extremely uplifted by hearing from Ramananda Rai.
Since I'm going to be in the kitchen, I'm going to leave the computer over here. And you can see a question you have.
What?
So it's pronounced Ha-Rai.
Oh, Hare. Hare. Yes, I heard your question last night, but it was late. Cool. So, yes, Hare Krishna. In Sanskrit, E is pronounced A in our letters. And so, Hare.
In the right there, the Facebook comments, and in the left, the YouTube.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Jai Dandavat. Dandavat. Morning, Bhima Prabhu. It's nice. Haridasa Dwara Nama Mahatmya Prakasha Sanatana Dwara Bhakti Siddhanta Bilasa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited the glories of the holy name of the Lord through Haridas Thakur, who was born in a Muslim family. Similarly, he exhibited the essence of devotional service through Sanatana Goswami, who had almost, from the point of view of the society, he was considered to be a Muslim. And so, because they're of that close proximity all the time, they were pressed in the service of the Muslim government, and they were given Muslim names, everything. So, as far as the strict Vedic people are concerned, they were outcasts. They were not allowed anymore because of that association. They were not considered part of Varnashram Dharma, part of the Varnashram system. But Sanatana Goswami was given the job of giving the full essence of devotional Siddhanta. So Mahaprabhu did this deliberately to teach us. Shri Rupa Dwara Brajera Prema Rasa Lila Ke Bujite Pari Gambira Jaitanyera Kela. Also the Lord fully exhibited the ecstatic love and transcendental pastimes of Vrindavan through Srila Rupa Goswami. Considering all this, who can understand the deep plans of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Sri Chaitanya Lila e Amritera Sindhu Trijagat Bashaite Parichara Akabindu. The activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like an ocean of nectar. Even a drop of this ocean can inundate all the three worlds. Chaitanya Chaitamrita Nityakara Pana Jaha Haite Premananda Bhakti Tattva Jnana. O devotees, relish daily the nectar of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for by doing so, one can merge in transcendental bliss and attain full knowledge of devotional service. And then again, this is the entreaty of Krishnadas Kaviraj. O devotees, relish daily the nectar of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for by doing so, one can merge in the transcendental bliss and attain full knowledge of devotional service. Everything that Mahaprabhu does is showing the essence of truth. So he is Jagat Guru. He is really the guru of the universe. And he is also the essence. E Mata Mahaprabhu Bhaktagana Lanya Nilachale Viharaye Bhakti Prachariya. Thus Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by his associates, his pure devotees, enjoyed transcendental bliss in Jagannath Puri by preaching the bhakti cult in many ways. Bangadeshi Akavipra Prabhura Charite Nataka Karilanya Aila Prabhuke Shunaite. A Brahmin from Bengal wrote a drama about the characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and came with his manuscript to induce the Lord to hear it. Bhagavan Acharya Sanitara Parichaya Tare Mili Tare Gare Karila Alaya. The Brahmin was acquainted with Bhagavan Acharya, one of the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, after meeting him at Jagannath Puri, the Brahmin made his residence at Bhagavan Acharya's home. Pratame Nataka Teho Tare Shunaila Tara Shange Aneka Vaishnava Nataka Shunila. First, the Brahmin induced Bhagavan Acharya to hear the drama, and then many other devotees joined Bhagavan Acharya in listening to it. Sabe prasangse nataka parama uttama Mahaprabhure shunaite shabara hailamana. All the Vaishnavas praised the drama, saying, very good, very good. They also desired that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hear the drama. So this is another wonderful arrangement by the Lord to teach very fine things to us. Gita shloka granta kavitva jay karyane pratame shunaya se swarupe rastane. Customarily, anyone who composed a song, a verse, literary composition, or poem about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first had to bring it to Swarup Damodar Goswami to be heard. Swarupa Tanya Uttare Jadilanya Taramana Tabe Mahaprabhu Tani Karaya Shravana. If passed by Swarup Damodar Goswami, it could be presented for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to hear. So there are very many mistakes which we read about in the Nectar of Devotion, and one of them is Rasa Bas. And so there are many things which to us may sound very, very good, but Swarup Damodar's mind and the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are one and the same. And in essence. And so everything had to be passed by him. Because he could see, oh no, this is not acceptable. But the regular devotees, they're Vaishnavas, but they could not perceive these things. Rasa basa haya jadi siddhanta virodha Sahite na pare prabhu mane haya krodha. If there were a hint that transcendental mellows overlapped in a manner contrary to the principles of the bhakti cult, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not tolerate it and would become very angry. So we have to understand and remember that these matters, if one is speaking about Vrindavan or any of these things, he has to be repeating what he's heard, because we don't understand the delicacy of these pastimes, and they're very intimate, and if they're represented incorrectly, that is very shocking for those personalities who are situated in those mellows. For example, the first time when I was starting to think about Rasaban, it reminded me of, like, for example, if somebody is saying something about the interactions in a family, all the family members very intimately interacting with each other every day. And then if somebody says, oh yeah, they do this and they do that, it can be very jarring if it is not true, if it is not accurate in the mood and of the exchanges. And that's a gross example. And what to speak of the very delicate and fine interactions between the Lord and the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So this could not be brought to Mahaprabhu without the sanction of Swarup Damodar. It would be it's an offense, actually. So there's a purport here. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes the following definition of Rasabhas from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Quote, a mellow temporarily appearing transcendental, but contradicting mellows previously stated and lacking some of that mellow's necessities is called Rasabhas, an overlapping mellow by advanced devotees who know how to taste the transcendental mellows. Such mellows are called uparasa, sub-mellows, anurasa, imitation transcendental mellows, and aparasa, opposing transcendental mellows. Thus, the overlapping of transcendental mellows is described as first grade, second grade, or third grade. When the 12 mellows, such as neutrality, servitorship, and friendship, are characterized by adverse Sthayi Bhava, Vibhava, and Anubhava ecstasies. They are known as Uparasa, or sub-mellows. I mean, these, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm just hearing this, but I don't know. We very high understanding of these things. When the 7 indirect transcendental mellows and the dried up mellow of neutrality are produced by devotees and moods not directly related to Krishna and devotional service and ecstatic love, they are described as anurasa, or imitation mellows. If Krishna and the enemies who harbor feelings of opposition toward him are respectively the object and abodes of the mellow of laughter, the resulting feelings are called aparasa, or opposing mellows. Experts in distinguishing one mellow from another sometimes accept some overlapping transcendental mellows, rasabhas, and rasas due to their being pleasurable and tasteful. Just as some kind seemingly opposition things come in friendship and they're acceptable. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Paraspara Rayor Jadi Yogas Tada Rasa Basaha. When two opposing transcendental mellows overlap, they produce rasabhas, or an overlapping of transcendental mellows. Ateva Prabhu Kichu Age Nahi Shune, E Mardyara Prabhu Karyache Niyame. Therefore Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not hear anything before Swarup Damodar heard it first. The Lord made this etiquette a regulative principle. Swarupera Tanya Acharya Kaila Nivedana, Eka Vipra Pravura Nataka Karyache Uttama. Bhagavan Acharya submitted to Swarup Damodar Goswami, quote, a good Brahmin has prepared a drama about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that appears exceptionally well composed. Adau tumi shuna jadi tomara manamane, pache Mahaprabhure tabe karai mushravane. First you hear it, and if it is acceptable to your mind, I shall request Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to hear it. Swarup kahe tumi gopa parama udara, jaise shastra sunite ucha upaje tomara. Swarup Damodar Goswami replied, Dear Bhagavan Acharya, you are a very liberal cowherd boy. Sometimes the desire awakens with you to hear any kind of poetry. Yadva tadva kavira vakyehaya rasabhasa siddhanta viruddha shunitehai nahaya ulasa. In the writings of so-called poets, there is generally a possibility of overlapping transcendental mellows. When the mellows thus go against the conclusive understanding, no one likes to hear such poetry. So this is the response of Swarup Damodar to Bhagavan Acharya. You are a very liberal cowherd boy. Yadva tadva kavi refers to anyone who writes poetry without knowledge of how to do so. Writing poetry, especially poetry concerning the Vaishnava conclusion, is very difficult. If one writes poetry without proper knowledge, there is every possibility that the mellows will overlap. When this occurs, no learned or advanced Vaishnava will like to hear that. Rasa rasa basa yara nahi ka vichar bhakti siddhanta sindhu nahi paya par. A so-called poet who has no knowledge of transcendental mellows and the overlapping of transcendental mellows cannot cross the ocean of the conclusions of devotional service. So he may be a good poet from some kind of point of view, but it will have no help give him that his composing of poetry, though it may seem to be about devotion will not actually help him to actually attain devotion. So Srila Gurudev again and again stressed that we keep our curiosity in check and not just read anything and everything that says Krishna on the front of it. We are keeping to the books which have been published in our mat under his supervision, and then any other book that has come out, but which is simply transcriptions of classes, because we're not in a mood of composing things ourselves. And there may be subtle differences and subtle things that are very, very wrong with something we read, and we can't detect that. So why read them? Why be so curious? Even translations, they may be very, very wrongly translated. So we're quite careful about these things. Vyakarana nahi jane na jane alankar, nataka alankar jnana nahi ka jahar, Krishna lila varnite na jane se char, Vishesha durgama e chaitanya vihara. A person who does not know the grammatical regulative principles, who is unfamiliar with metaphorical ornaments, especially those employed in drama, and who does not know how to present the pastimes of Lord Krishna, is condemned. Moreover, the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are especially difficult to understand. The deep pastimes of Mahaprabhu, we're just listening about that. So the grammatical regulative principles are important, not because we want to be, or there's any emphasis on becoming grammarians, but the laws of grammar are really important in Sanskrit in order to carefully define what is being said. Otherwise, it's open to any kind of misinterpretation. But, even Mahaprabhu and the followers of Mahaprabhu have defeated the Mayavad philosophy on the basis of grammar. That what Shankaracharya is saying is directly different than what is being said in the text of the Brahma Sutra. So, in that sense, grammar is serving the purpose of explaining correctly. Krishna Lila Gora Lila Sekare Varnana Gora Pada Padma Jara Haya Pranadana. One who has accepted the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his life and soul can describe the pastimes of Lord Krishna or the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gramya, so we are working on that. That is our emphasis. Coming to Anyavilasita Shunyam in the service of Mahaprabhu. Gramya kavira kavitva shunite haya duka vidagda atmiya vakya shunite haya sukha. Hearing the poetry of a person who has no transcendental knowledge and who writes about the relationships between man and woman simply causes unhappiness, whereas hearing the words of a devotee fully absorbed in ecstatic love causes great happiness. Rupa jaiche dui nataka karyache arambe Shunite Ananda Bade Jara Mukhabande. The standard for writing dramas has been set by Rupa Goswami. If a devotee hears the introductory portions of his two dramas, they enhance his transcendental pleasure. But if there's a mistake, that does not happen. it means that that person is not writing from the position of realization. He's writing about something about which he has no experience. Bhagavan Acharya kahe shuna akabar, tumi shunile bala manda janibe vichar. Despite the explanation of Swarup Damodar, Bhagavan Acharya requested, please hear the drama once. If you hear it, you can consider whether it is bad or good. Duitina dina acharya agaha karila, tara agrahe swarupera shunite ichahaila. For 2 or 3 days, Bhagavan Acharya continually asked Swarup Damodar Goswami to hear the poetry. Because of his repeated requests, Swarup Damodar Goswami wanted to hear the poetry written by the Brahmin from Bengal. So his heart was changed by the entreaties of Bhagavan Acharya. Shabalanya Swarupa Gosai Shunite Bashila Tabi Se Kavinande Shloka Pandila. Swarup Damodar Goswami sat down with the other devotees to hear the poetry, and then the poet began to read the introductory verse. Vikacha Kamala Netre Sri Jagannatha Sangye Kanakaruchir Ihat Manyat Matam Ja Prapanna Prakriti Jadam Shesham Chaitanyan Avirasid Sadishatu Tava Bhavyam Krishna Chaitanya Deva. So this is the introductory verse of this poem. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has assumed a golden complexion and has become the soul of the body named Lord Jagannath, whose blooming lotus eyes are widely expanded. Thus he has appeared in Jagannath Puri and brought dull matter to life. Oh, may that Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev bestow all good fortune upon you. Shloka Shuni Sarvaloka Tahare Vakane Swarupakahe E Shloka Karaha Vyakyane. When everyone present heard the verse, they all commended the poet, but Swarup Damodar Goswami requested him, kindly explain this verse. Kavikahi Jagannatha Sundara Sharira Chaitanya Gosai Shariri Mahadira. The poet said, Lord Jagannath is a most beautiful body, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is exceptionally grave, is the owner of that body. Shariri refers to a person who owns the sharira, or the body, as is this stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yata dehe komara jovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. Sahaje jaga jagatera chaitana karaite nilachale mahaprabhu haila avirbhute. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared here in Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, to spiritualize the entire dull material world. Shunya sabara haila anandita mana dukapanya swarupakahe sakroda vachana. Hearing this, everyone present was greatly happy, but Swarup Damodar, who alone was unhappy, began to speak in great anger. Are murka apanara kaila sarvanash duita ishware tora nahika vishvas. You are a fool, he said. You have brought ill fortune upon yourself, for you have no knowledge of the existence of the two lords, Jagannath Dev and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nor have you faith in them. So, very mercifully, Swarup Damodar is giving chastisement. Otherwise, he can just say, no, I don't want to hear anymore, go away. But he's going to give him instruction. Purnananda Chitswarupa Jagannatha Rai Tare Kaili Jada Nishwara Prakrita Prakrita Kai. Lord Jagannath is completely spiritual and full of transcendental bliss, but you've compared him to a dull, destructible body composed of the inert external energy of the Lord. He's saying he's brought life to dull matter. And this is very offensive. Purnasad Aishvarja Chaitanya Swayam Bhagavan Tare Kaila Kshuddha Jiva Spuringa Saman. You have calculated Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in 6 opulences, to be on the level of an ordinary living being, just as the soul is giving life to the body. I'm adding that. So he is saying that. Instead of knowing him as a supreme fire, you have accepted him as a spark. So I've really gone over here. So I think I'm going to come back to this tomorrow again, and we'll read this. Haribol. This is so instructive for us too. And we Srila Gurudev again. I mean, I already said this, but I want to remember it also again and again, because he was like, be chaste. You don't have to, fickle-mindedness, which is what we're going to be reading right now. This fickle-mindedness is one of the causes of what it will, this lolium, this fickle-mindedness. Oh, I want to read this, and I want to read that, and I want to read this, and are you kidding? The books that we have from our great perfect Vaishnava acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada in his time, what was published in his time, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, all of their talks and writings are perfect. They have no flaw. We can read them without any anxiety whatsoever. But start wandering around in the bookstores in India, and you're going to get yourself into trouble. And going to all these different kinds of websites and looking at anything and everything that has Krishna written on it. It's going to become very disturbing. So we don't have to just go, we have enough. We have more than enough. We can't begin to come to the full understanding of any one of our books, at least in my case. So this is super instructive for us. When the great personalities speak, there is no flaw. What they are speaking is transcendental and can enter our hearts in some subtle and very purifying way. But what is rasabhas and all these other kinds of mistakes, they may be imperceivable to us, but they are there. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnu Padesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagat Guru Sri Chaitanya Dev ki Jai, Swarup Damodar ki Jai, Haribol. Sri Upadesamrita ki Jai, Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai. So we're going to just chant these shlokas up to numbers, including number 7. Let me see if there's anything. Haribol. Okay. Yeah, I don't see these, but it's so nice. There's Kumkum Devi's hair, Bimal Krishna Prabhu, so lovely. I don't see everything, but I see those two. All right. Dandavat. Okay. Vacho vegam, manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam, udarupasta vegam, etan veganyo vishaheta dhira, sarvam apimam prithivim sasisyat. Those are the 6 urges, and overcoming them is going to take some time. There are so many subtle layers. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagra janasanga shalolyam cha sabir bhaktir binashyati. And those 6 things which destroy devotion. Utsaha nishayadharya tat karma pravartana sangatyagat sato vritte sabir bhakti prasidyati. And these are the 6 qualities which nourish devotion. Dadati pratigrahnati guhyamagyati pritchati bhunkte bojayate chaiva sadvidam pritilakshanam. These are the 6 exchanges of affection between the devotees. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta Dikshasti che pranati bisha bhajantamisham Shushaya bhaja vigyam Bhajana vigyam ananyamanya Nindadi shunya Hridamipsita shangalabdya. This is how we are our relationship with different levels of those who are chanting the name of Krishna. Then number 6, Dishtai Shabhava Janiter Vapushascha Doshe Na Prakritatvam Iha Bhakta Janasya Pasyet Gangam Vasam Na Kalu Budbuddhape Na Panker Brahma Dravatvam Apagachati Niradharmai. And then of course this is about how the quality, the internal quality of the great Vaishnava is unassailable by material nature, and not to see some external quality which is normal in the body or that this will be a symptom of his of a fault in him or her. Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya pitopatapta rasanasya narochikanu kinvadara manudinam kalu saiva justa swadvikramad bhavati tad gadamula hantri. And then this, of course, is about the sugar candy of Krishna's name, pastimes, and so forth. And it is not relishable to the tongue severely afflicted by the jaundice of ignorance. Alas, that's a lamentable condition. Certainly, however, when it is constantly honored with faith, this candy gradually becomes relishable and eradicates the disease. So now we're going to continue with hearing what Srila Guru Maharaj is saying in connection with this verse. And now we're on page 159, right in the center of the page. The Ninda. Ninda means offense. There is also, Jai Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. There is also Shastra Ninda. There are many kinds of Shastras, but those Shastras, scriptures that speak about Krishna, Narayan, Vishnu, that is the eternal aspects and Leelas of the Lord, must not be abused. That will be suicidal. These Shastras have come to help us. And if we are abusing them, then we are losing the chance of receiving help from them. So the name does not like that his agent should be insulted, abused, or blamed. We have to be very careful in approaching the Shastra. The Shastra is it's transcendence in the solid form. So we must be very careful not to put the scriptures on the floor, always to put them in a high place and give great respect to them. The name that is not satisfied with this, I am sending my messenger to help you, and you are abusing him. You are dealing badly with him. He becomes dissatisfied by such Shastra Ninda. So offense against the bona fide Shastra, not anything that comes in the name of a Shastra. But we are always giving much obeisance to Shastra. The fifth offense is to imagine so now we're reading, of course, the 10 offenses against the holy name. The fifth offense is to imagine various types of meanings in the name of the Lord, using the dictionary and other things. For example, there is the name Hari. Hari means to snatch away. Hari means a lion. Hari means a serpent. And Hari means a lotus. The word Hari has many meanings. So we must not indulge in deferring to, analyzing, and thinking of different meanings of the word. Hari is he who can attract us, our everything. Prabhu kahe Krishna namera bahu arta namani, Shama Sundara Jashoda Nandana e matra jani. Mahaprabhu said, I do not accept many meanings of the name Krishna. I simply know he is Shama Sundar and Jashoda Nandan. That's all I know. Trying never to make that kind of mistake. Krishna means one who can attract and who can give pleasure. Many things we may find there, but all meanings must be carried to the central quarter, to the prime cause. All the names of Krishna are, we must understand that they are, those meanings are manifestations of that person, not some other kind of meaning of the sixth offense is to consider the glories of the holy name to be a concoction. The seventh offense is to think that because the holy name can remove all sorts of impurity, sins, and offenses, let me go on committing so many sins and so many crimes as I shall take the name and everything will be purified. If we come to take the name with the idea that the name is to serve me, to clean the sins and impurity in me, then that will not be real service to the name, and rather that will be an offense. We know that the name can clean so many offenses, so many wrongs, gradually those tendencies within us. But we are not committing sins on the strength of that. We have to be very careful about that. If we do some wrong, then we mustn't ask for forgiveness like that. We will be ready to take the result of that. And bowing down, praying for sincerity. The eighth offense is to think, yes, taking Krishna Nam is good, no doubt, but there are many other ways of doing good. Donations, penances, sacrifices for the country, and so many things. If we think that all these things are not to be put down, and that they're all equal to taking the name, then we commit offense to the Absolute. It is also an offense to distribute the name to anyone and everyone without being inspired. That is, to begin the action like a trade. The Jati Goswamis are doing this. They are there by generation. To them, the son of a guru is a guru. Whether he's qualified or not, he's a guru. So without being in the proper position of distributing the name, if someone wants to take up the position of a guru, then they commit aparad. When someone does not find any inspiration to give the name to others by taking the name, but for their fame and name wants to take up the position of guru and begin to make disciples, then that is also offense to the name. So it's like the family business. My dad was a guru, my grandfather was a guru, and by golly, I'm going to be a guru. but no understanding, no tendency in the own heart to take the name purely and come in contact with the genuine Guru to receive that name, and then feel inspired that let me try to share whatever it is that I have received with others. But to take it up as a matter of trade, some other idea, then that's an offense. Of course, it's an offense to the name. And it is also, that kind of trade will attract insincere persons. So it's giving the name to those who are not sincere about receiving it properly in the mood of service and surrender. The 10 offenses to make too much of our material achievements. To do so is like rowing a boat with the anchor down. The boat will only move around the anchor. If we have a particular attachment to a particular matter, then as we take the name, we will wander about that end, that thing of our highest attachment. So the anchor needs to be taken up, and the boat should be allowed to go to the destination where the Guru will take us. With much change and great transformation in the mind, by taking the name, our soul will be taken in another direction, and we must be a party to that. Not to lose track of what it is we're doing, and so easily we can forget, being carried away by some mundane achievement. We must not be reluctant. We must not try to stay fixed in our present position with much attachment. That attachment should be severed, and we must allow ourselves to be transformed. We must cooperate with the necessity that attachment should be severed, and we should allow ourselves to transform. We must cooperate with the necessary transformation of our mental system. That is progress. And it can be shockingly revolutionary. Some situation will come. And yesterday, for myself, I'm just speaking subjectively. Yesterday a situation came, and I was very much distressed about it because I couldn't understand what to do or to think, and I was trying to surrender that, my Lord, you have arranged this circumstance for me, and now I must bow down and see where my evolution is in this circumstance that you have arranged. So let me bow down to you. You are the only one who knows where I'm to go. I don't know. I cannot see where a position of progress that I have not achieved yet. So I'm bowing down to you. This circumstance has come, and let me see this. And after some time, this will become more clear, I'm sure of it. Because this is how it is. We have to recognize the Lord and not stay in our same mental state and fight tooth and nail against any progress. This is our mental tendency, but we must overcome it. Otherwise, we can just put that mentality into our devotional life and just stay with it. But we can't. We must move forward. And this devotional life will also move forward in our understanding and our conception and in our experience. We must not think that we're going to a foreign land. Guru Maharaj is giving us assurance. That land where the name will take us is our own home. It is our sweet, sweet home. He is our best friend. And with this consciousness that the Lord whose name we are taking is our best friend, we are going home. And with this consciousness that the Lord whose name we are taking is our best friend and we are going home. We are going to our highest friend, the center of the highest love and attraction. These are the 10 offenses against the name. We must be careful about all these offenses. Then there are the 4 kinds of abhas, shadowy expressions of the name. So we're going to begin here tomorrow. And it's really, it's so lovely to hear these things again and again and again. And they start taking up some root in our way of understanding the world, in our way of understanding of everything, and giving us some protection against our own tendencies. Jai. All right. Haribo Jai Sri Upadesamrita ki Jai Jai Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai. All merciful gurus, come down to the kindergarten class. They are the great, fully realized, fully situated in the highest platform of devotional environment, in the highest plane. And they're coming down to the kindergarten class to teach us very basic things with so much affection and patience. So we must also try. We must try. Keep trying. Haribol. Any questions from the kitchen or anywhere? Haribol. Oh, I think I'm just going to clap this morning. My drum is far away. I keep forgetting it. Do you have? Oh, you can. Okay, I didn't want to ask you.
Dandavat.
Could you give me that drum, Prabhuji?
Oh, yes. When they bring you house.
Oh my gosh. I have no idea what that is. If it's being delivered here, maybe not. Oh. Huh?
It's an old lady driving that big truck. It's a signal.
Huh?
No, nothing.
Hari Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Jai Sapakar Sri Sri Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Ki Jai. Beautiful Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajakacharya Astutera Siddhi Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajakacharya Astutera Siddhi Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Tadiya Shaka Mat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribo. Jai Gurudev Ki Jai.
Dandavat devotees and everybody. Dandavat Kaki.
Haribo. Jai Kundu